You are listening to Conversations with Yoube, a podcast produced by bisnation.net members.
Alright guys, I am here with Love Shack, the team leader for Beantown Bullies. And I don't mean to put any pressure on you here, man, but you are going to conclude the Twink Cup team leader interviews.
Awesome. I'm glad to be here. I know we had some issues scheduling here, but I'm finally glad to be talking to you and doing this interview.
Yeah, do you have any kind of way you'd like to phrase how serious those issues were? We were supposed to go at 8 o'clock. I think maybe Pseudo and I started around 8:15.
Yeah, didn't get over till like 9.
No.
And then we rescheduled, and we had some more technical difficulties, right?
No, then I had some work difficulties, and now here we are.
Here we are.
But good things come to those that wait. So you are leading Beantown Bullies, and from what I can recall and what Sipe has, I actually asked him for a few questions.
Yeah, that's fine.
And he gave me a few. So this is where I'm going to start, and this is straight from Sipe.
All right, great.
What made you bring Beantown Bullies back? Because I'm trying to think way back in the day. And when I think of Beantown Bullies, I think of the secret mid-strat. Is that right?
Yeah, or the secret mid-strat.
So try and take us from the secret mid-strat to today.
All right, so believe it or not, or actually still plays. No one really knows who he is or anything. He's been messing around on a lot of different Twinks, but I actually have him on Snapchat. I text him all the time. And he's the reason that I actually came back to Twinks.
Okay.
So that's why I'm back right now. And he's obviously, most people know Or, so he's kind of trolly and shit. So I didn't really want him on the Twink Cup team because he's not reliable. He's not like anything like that. But I decided like he's what got me into Twinking, so I wanted to revive the guild. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to see what we could do in the Twink Cup. Have a little fun.
Can you give any insight on what the secret mid-strat actually was? Or was it just one of like a joke thing?
It was a joke. There was never actually any mid-strat.
So there's not going to be something coming out where HB was kind of alluding to in the podcast we did earlier, like there may be a little tricks that teams have coming out that you haven't seen yet. Like you don't have something crazy like you guys think you know the mid-meta. But
maybe tune into our game against skill ratio tonight. We might see a little something different. Maybe not.
So is that your little teaser? Everyone check it out.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's going to be streamed yet or not, but I'm trying to get it streamed.
All right, well, how did you go about putting this team together? I'm going to assume that you pulled from some old town, like first generation B to the Bs. But how did you...
For sure. I got, so my main team, I got a bunch of old school guys. It's me. Actually, I got a shout-out site right now, like, before even the shout-outs come. I wouldn't really have a team if it wasn't for him. So, like, the day after I posted on Twink Info that I was creating a guild, he hit me up. He was like, oh, I'll get a lot of players, all that kind of stuff. And he's helped me out so much. It's just, like, shout-out to him. And then I got a bunch of old school guys. I got me, Trillium, Spore Druid. He's Nolix from back in Cata, if anyone knows. I got Pack Attack in here. I got
old Pack.
Yeah, I got Pack Attack. I got who else do I have?
I see you have Cannabis in there, and this is another thing that Sipe brought up as far as the question and stuff. You have some old school tunes in here that for whatever reason may not get the recognition they used to, or possibly even the recognition they deserve. And two names that just jump out at me are Trill and Cannabis.
Yeah. Definitely Trill. I mean, I don't think Trill gets as much recognition as he deserves right now. It's just because he hasn't been queuing besides with like our pre-mades. He doesn't really queue pugs anymore. And then Cannabis, he's just, I got him, I was talking to him before he had Maiden Storm Strike actually folded, and I was in contact with him. I really wanted him on my team, and it ended up happening. I got him over to BH on Alliance. I helped him out, and he agreed to play because he thought we were pretty serious guild, how we were going to take it, and I just really wanted to have him because I know he was a beast in Canada, and I still know he's a beast.
And I'm going to take a wild leap here and assume he's playing a shaman.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, I would guess maybe he's playing enhanced, but you don't want to get that crazy. So probably resto, right?
He'll be on a shaman, yeah. He will.
So going into the Twink Cup, you guys are right now one of the lower seeds. How does that kind of make you feel? Do you just kind of put that as like a chip on your shoulder and you get to use that to your advantage? Or is it kind of something you're like, fuck?
I mean, the first game against Gino's guild, I mean, people have been saying it's like, a playing game, which I really don't mind. Like, it'll get us warmed up for the next games.
Are you saying right now that Gino's guild is a warm-up game? Come on.
No. Like, people have been saying our game is like the play-in game for the next
Yes,
one.
it is.
Yeah, so that's what I was getting at there. I'm not saying it's a warm-up.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify there.
Yeah, but no. Me and Gino are actually really tight. I played in Master Ballers with him. We took down Noodle Arms, so we're really cool. But going back to the question about where were we?
You guys are coming into the tournament as a lower seed, and you're going to use that as kind of motivation to propel you guys forward?
Yeah, I mean, with the seeding, with the arena tournament, I obviously didn't play. I was actually out of town, so I put it all on my guildies. I put it on Dark and his endgame arena friends wanted to play, so I let them do it. And from the time that they spent on their 19s and preparing for it, I think they did relatively a good job. And I really don't mind about the seeding for the Warzone Gulch. Like, I could really care less. I just want to play some games.
Oh, well, you'll definitely have the opportunity.
Yeah.
So coming in there, I guess you have no worries. Like, you're confident in your squad. You're going to be able to do some work on that?
Yeah, I think it hasn't shown in our exhibition games, but I think we have a really strong mid. Like, we were competing with Waka for a couple games, but our objective play was just total dog shit, to be completely honest. So we got 3 pre-mades set up this week before the Cup, so we're going to try and smooth that over.
So what do you think the issues that your team is facing right now?
Well, earlier on, we got our mid-fight down. We got some good synergy there. We're landing kills there. But our main problem right now we weren't getting Spore out of their flag room. So whenever we would play Waka, they would have at least a Hunter Rogue D, and our FC would be alone, which we can't expect him to get out of there alone against a Hunter Rogue D.
Absolutely.
So we need to get him some help, and we also need to work on our objective play of breaking off a mid, contesting their FC, and getting some returns there too.
So I don't want to make you reveal any of your secrets and such, but I'm going to assume that you have some good things coming for these. And leading up, I know you said you had a lot of games scheduled coming up. How many of you guys have been able to play to a team, or as a team, I should say, up to this point?
Up to this point, we haven't had our full team on the field yet. But tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday, we will have our full team.
So have you guys just been subbing in, like, one person real ID? Like, how has it been working?
Yeah, I refused to pug more than 2 people for these games because I just didn't want the team synergy to kind of drop off.
And that's the team synergy thing, from what talking with all of the different team leaders, it seems like something that has been really, really important. And just talking with Blackout right before you, it's something to him that was vitally important, where it's one of his main goals where he was just talking about just the communication aspect, not just the on-the-field synergy, but just being able to distinguish whom is talking to whom, who's the one that's going to be calling shots, how you're going to go about relaying information. I mean, these are all things that take time to develop. So has having to pug in 1 or 2 people kind of hurt that? You think that's something you're going to be able to deal with? And as the Twink Cup actually hits in, 3 days at this point, you guys will be all right?
I mean, I think we'll be good. When we were pugging, I tried to keep the circle small. I tried to use the same people. I tried to use maybe not our, like, we would swap out Cannabis for maybe our not A-team Shaman or something like that. So I feel like we'll be able to get that down in the next 3 days. I mean, we have it set, but with our 10 core guys, we'll be able to fine tune it next couple days.
Awesome. Now, this is another question from Sipe. He wanted me to ask you what it was like being a former member of Vodcast, which, to those of you guys that maybe are new to 19s, that's now known as skill ratio.
All right. So I actually was in WoW Talent when they obviously they were an Unreal guild. They always will be, but they were pretty inactive when I was in there. Really, they weren't queuing 19s, and I was only in there because I was good friends with Ko at the time.
Okay.
So I was in there for maybe a couple weeks. I didn't really play with them at all. I didn't really do much with them, so I kind of just throw that around as a little troll. I don't really mean anything by it.
Do you want to say who you were in there? Did you have some sort of secret name or?
Oh no, I was under Love Shack on my road.
Okay. And actually, let me ask you this then: How long have you been playing 19s?
I've been around since 07, 08.
Oh, so you have been around for a healthy minute.
Yeah. I've been around for a while.
And what has been have you always gravitated to one class or the other, or have you just kind of shifted as metas shift?
I played Rogue all the way up until Mop. Mm-hmm. And then when Mop hit, I rolled the Warlock to play in some pre-mades with Gino and some pre-mades with BTB. And then just this coming expansion, I rolled Druid for the Twink Cup.
Nice. So out of all of those, all the different classes you play and stuff, which one of the expansions do you think has been your favorite?
Well, up until Cat, I didn't really have any pre-made experience, so to say. So those were just the kind of young Twink days where you would go in the Gulch and kill people, not really care about whatever the competitive aspect. But once I got into BTB, I liked playing Rogue with Or. He was a good mentor back in the day, but now he's a little off the deep end. But
I feel like there's so much more you want to say, but you're stopping yourself from saying it.
Well, I mean, if you've ever recently had a conversation with Or, I honestly don't understand 99% of the words that come out of his mouth. I could take a screenshot of our battle.net conversations and you wouldn't understand a word.
Gibberish, or is it just broken up sentences?
It's broken up. It's he doesn't make any sense. It's just crazy. Let me see if I can find one real quick.
Oh, jeez.
Because I talked to him today.
You going to share a screen with me here?
Let me see. Where's Or?
Oh, jeez. Yes, Dime. Gino should be president. Can you imagine if Gino was president, Love Shack? You'd just be having here, ha today, lol, ah.
I love Gino. Well, I couldn't find anything, so we'll just move on.
No, I think kind of got that across. So let's move on to some of the stock questions that I don't really like asking, but I kind of like hearing the answers. Take yourself out of the equation. Who is the favorite in the Twink Cup and why?
My favorite?
Yeah.
Or the community's favorite?
No. This is a you conversation.
All right. My favorite is Waka Flocka for sure.
What's the why on that?
They've been putting in the work.
Just like we were talking about before with the synergy, and everyone said that their mid game is, I guess strong would be an understatement at this point. It seems like everyone has a feeling that their mid game is up there with JCM as kind of the top tier.
I mean, when I think about it, their pretty much everything game is top tier. Their defense, their positioning. I mean, I think of them highly.
Awesome. So what about the Dark Horse?
Dark Horse? Yeah. I really haven't pre-mated many other people besides JC, Waka Flocka. I've played one against JCM. But
have you been able to watch streams or anything? Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of streams. Then by that, I think I'm gonna just go with GSC.
Nice, vanilla. What
Yeah.
makes you call them out as the dark horse?
Recently, in my pre-made against Waka Flocka about a week ago or so, Unplugged played with me, and his leadership is just like crazy good.
And by that, do you mean like target calling or just general awareness?
Yeah, he was on a priest. He was target calling. He was telling people where to go. He overtook me. He's definitely a great leader.
You know, when you have a priest that can sit there and do work calling targets, you have kind of a special person that you're working with. So let's go back to, like you were saying, like their Waka Flocka's defense is also quite strong. If you're going to say, actually I haven't pre-mated enough guilds to say that. So let's say Waka Flocka has a really nice defense. Are there any other players, let's say, on other teams that you've faced that have really stood out to you as someone that when you go against, you're like, all right, guys, we need to be aware of where this person is and what they're doing?
Well, obviously, I'm going to go through the obvious, like Saxon and Gank. And then I think a lot of people don't realize how, well, all right, that's the wrong way to word it. I think...
Underrated.
Revolution, he's playing a Boomkin in the Twink Cup, I think. Either Boomkin or Locke. I think he's one of the top players in the bracket. He's unreal.
Playing against him on Mage just in pugs, like I was with Blackout, I was saying how Yorkie is ridiculous, and I feel Revo's kind of the same way. They have the ability to just kind of shut down opposing casters, and that can completely change the tide of what's going on in a game.
Definitely.
All right, so do you want to give any shout-outs? I didn't even have time to give this to a Blackout, and I feel actually pretty terrible about that now that I think about it. But this is your moment, man. Give some shout-outs.
All right, I got to shout out Sipe, obviously. He's my co-GM. He's the homie. Shout out to Trillium. I've been playing Rogue with him for so many years now. Shout out to Merm for setting this whole thing up. I mean, we wouldn't be here without him. And shout out to Orr for bringing me to Beantown Bullies.
Good shit, man. All right, well, I guess, guys... Oh, actually, one last thing. NWL, quick. You going to be doing it, or you're not going to be doing it?
I personally am going to be doing it. I'm not sure about my guild if I'll have the numbers or anything, but I'm going to be doing it.
Oh, well, then I'd like to expand that then. If your guild isn't going to be doing it, how do you think you're going to be going about creating a team?
I'm sure I'll slide in somewhere. I got a couple different options.
Well, geez, if you and Sipe could put together a quality team like this so fast, I have no doubt you guys will be able to make something work for the NWL.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try to have my own team, but if the numbers aren't there, I'm just going to go somewhere else.
All right. Well, thank you, Love Shack. I apologize how freaking difficult it was to finally get this, but you also were one of the few that shared a cam. So I thank you for that as well, man. Everyone gets to see that little polo flow.
Dude, it's got to be Ralph. Come on.
All right. We'll leave it on that, man. It's got to be Ralph. Thank you guys in stream. Thank you, Love Shack. Twink Cup effing hype. Team leader interviews are now over. Glad that you were the one that got to finish it out, bud.
Great talking.